Hey everybody, it's Rob here. Welcome to my top 10 most recommended and most fun as well as strongest builds to play in the upcoming Season 10 right here. The power creep this season is extremely high and there are a multitude of fun and strong builds to play. I already made a tier list here based mainly on the power. I also have a leveling tier list. I'm going to link these below. I also have a horde tier list here based on speed farming, but today I want to show you some of the builds and also just basically focus on what's fun and what's strong this season. And there's a total of top 10 builds. Coming in here at number 10, played by Alexio here in this footage, is the Crackling Energy Sorcerer. This one is tremendously powerful, super fast, and also a new build, basically revolving around the new Asadora unique, and they've also juiced up the Crackling Energy a lot. This build also gets a lot from the Chaos perks as well as from the Chaos powers. And it's fairly new. You can still play the Hydra Sork if you like. The Hydra Sork is still strong and didn't make this list, but I would recommend this Crackling Energy Sork over it because it's just like fun, it's new, it's fast, and I think you're going to enjoy it a lot. There is an even stronger sword build that we're going to talk about later here in this top 10, but this is my number 10 pick. Check out Lexu. All the planners are going to be linked below, as well as the video clears in the Excel sheet. Pretty cool. Then here, coming in at number 9, that's also like a very strong rogue build here, is the Dance of Knives Rogue. This one can also be played while leveling, absolutely dominating from early on. And now you also have a good way of scaling this into the end game because you can combine it with poison traps. And you can see here, this guy is blasting down pit 90s, and this rogue has been buffed significantly. They buffed the key passives on the rogue tremendously, and they also buffed some of the chaos perks. That's going to help a lot with these builds here. So this rogue is pretty strong. That's my number 9 pick here with the Dance of Knives Trap Rogue. And then coming in at number 8 here for the rogues is an all-time favorite, Death Trap Rogue. We already played this a couple of seasons ago. This is a true powerhouse. They buffed the key passives, like I said. They also buffed particularly the pulling of the Death Trap is a lot larger now than it was before. And this build is also extremely tanky. It's probably the tankiest build of the entire game. You can see me here. This was from Season 8. We are like fully tanking, like standing in the middle of Torment 4 and Dariel here. Basically only with 2 buttons. We only have Death Trap on the bar here if you want. Again, the planner is going to be linked below. Obviously, you can play this with more buttons. And there's also a little bit of a problem with this new Death Trap build where you need to solve your energy needs. So it's not going to be as easy as you remember it. But still, the build got about a 4.5x, I think. It got a tremendous damage boost and it's like 4 to 5 times more powerful than it was in Season 9 in terms of DPS output. So yeah, really looking forward to see the Death Trap Rogue shine again. This is the highest, most recommended Rogue build I have here. Again, if you're playing Rogue, I would recommend playing Dance of Knives leveling and then either keeping Dance of Knives Poison Trap or transitioning into Death Trap. It's all about traps on the rogues, my friends. Then coming in here at the next rank is our friend the Barbarian. This is a pretty cool Barbarian built here on rank 7. This has also been buffed because they have added the Ramaladnis as a chaos power, which we didn't have in this footage from the PTR. This is a spin to win playstyle, guys, that combines 2 of the basic barb skills and uses those together here with the dual threat and unstable chaos perks that we're going to have in the next season. You can see all the details on the planner. You can spin to win to reset your cooldown and then basically use the double basic skills to trigger each other and to guarantee overpower and guarantee critical hit strikes. This is a pretty cool barb build. Alternatively, you can also play the Hoda build. This is a fan favorite build from Season 2. It's making a bit of a comeback. Just Hoda smash, basically. You all know how it looks like. You basically just run up to the enemy and you start smashing. There's also a cool bleed build that you can play and have a lot of fun on. But this is the dual basic here, using those crazy powers, and very fun to play and very powerful. I think this is going to do like higher than Pit 110. And you also get this Ramaladni here on the helm. That's going to be extremely good. Then coming in here at number 6, this is from Zyor. This is gameplay on the PTR. The Druid was a little bugged on the public test server. You see, you're not going to deal as much damage as you do in this clip. But it's all about the gameplay. This is basically using the Raven Druid. You just summon your Raven. This is the companion Raven Druid. You summon your Ravens to deal a tremendous amount of damage. This is an S tier build. Obviously in the PTR it even did negative damage. It's not going to be as powerful because you can see him basically speed farming through 150. So don't really mind the damage numbers. This is just a showcase of the gameplay. I couldn't really find any good like non-bugged Druid clears because Druid was so crazy. This has obviously been bug fixed, but overabundance and the Druid class in general is still insanely strong. And you basically just walk around, you command your ravens, you command your army of wild, hungry companions to just eat away at the monsters. And the Druid is eating good. There's even a crazier build later on this recommended builds to play tier list. But the Raven Druid is fun, it's new, and it is extremely powerful. So shout out here to Zayor for this. Then coming in on the next ranking here, number 5 is the Shadow Blight Necromancer. You can see here, this is played from Lord Sora, GG Necro player. Pit 100 speeds works. You can play this with teleport, 80 speeds here in 90 seconds. And this basically just combines the new Soul Rift power, where there's a Chaos perk where your ultimates don't have a cooldown because they are now counting as core skills. And this combines it here with the Shadow Blight ability. And you can see this can basically do all the content. And you even have the teleport ways here with the Jarun, and it has a very good AoE. So he's like just blasting through a Pit 100. Very comfortable. This build has not been buffed from the PTR, but this build was already like extremely powerful. As you can see here, he's just like blitzing through the entire dungeon. The AoE is good. This is going to work very well for the hordes. I always recommend, you start with leveling minions, like just play Summoner Necromancer for the 1 to 60 leveling. Again, leveling guide is on D4 builds. And then you can transition into this powerhouse here that's going to allow you to have big AoE, big farming, and can do like a 2-minute Pit 100 here, which is extremely strong and obviously like way enough to level all your glyphs. And it's like just fun to like spam your ultimate with no cooldown whatsoever. So super cool build here, very fun. This is also the best Necro build of the entire season in terms of DPS output. I think this build is going to do well above and beyond Pit 120. So Shadow, Blight, Soul, Rift, Necro. Ton of fun right here. Then coming in here on the next place, this is the King Kong Ape King of the Jungle, Gorilla Spiritborn. There is 2 separate playstyles that you can see that you can play with this. They both got ultra juice. Right now you can see me here playing the Payback, which I think might have the edge for pushing. Like Payback is insane for single target. It got ultra buffed even from this footage here because the ape was bugged on the PTR. Now it's even stronger, like playing with King Kong Gorilla. This is just rather small AoE though with Payback, but big damage, especially against bosses. But there's also a second version that you can play that is with the Crushing Hands. It will look like this. This is a bit more for speed farming because this has like a bigger AoE and you're like basically like crushing your enemies with this like Crushing Hands. The gorilla is smashing down, like with both of his hands and basically just crushing the enemies. And this is an orange build as well. That means you're using Banished Lord's Talisman. It permanently overpowers everything. And this build also got its aspect buffed like crazy. The Unrelenting aspect got a crazy buff here. And it's going to go completely wild. So this build and all the gorilla builds, they're going to be smashing very good. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun on this Ape Spiritborn. This is definitely one of the builds that I want to play some high pits with because this build is just like super viable now and it looks super cool with the gorilla hall here. Then we're going into the top 3 now. And the top 3 guys, all the builds are insane. On number 3, I have the Pulverized Puddle Druid. This is gameplay from last season. You remember like the Pulverized Puddle Druid was already insanely strong in the current season, eating alive absolutely every enemy, crushing Pit 100 here in 2 minutes. You see this, boom, crazy. And this build has not only been bug fixed. So before, whenever you were like crushing into this puddle, there were some instances where it was not creating this shockwave. That has been bug fixed. And then on top of this, this build received sheer unending amount of buffs. Like we have overabundance being buffed. We have like Purge the Infected, Chaos Power. All these like Chaos Powers are going to be completely crazy. On top of this, you can play the Rotting Lightbringer that we had in the weapon slot here. You can put this on your boots now. You're going to look like Obelix. You're going to throw some heavy rocks. And you're going to be like, just blast the entire game, basically. And absolutely one-shot like every boss. This is T4 Belial before the buff. Like, I think this is about 10 times stronger than it was in Season 9. So I think this is suspected to clear the absolutely highest pit. The only one that can compete with this is a Spiritborn build that we also going to talk about, that we talked about already, the Ape Spiritborn or some of the Spiritborn builds, if the Jaguar Hall is still bugged. However, this Druid is the highest non-bugged legit damage of the entire season. It's going to be hitting for trillions and trillions, and it's going to be doing, I think, pit 130 is doable for this build in the very end. And we're going to see pit 120, I think, very fast with this pulverizing Fridge Druid, completely crazy. Then coming in at number 2, and I was debating big time if I'm going to put the Boar Sork on number 1. I put it on number 2 now, but either way, this might as well be number 1. Let me know what you think down in the comments. This is the Ball Lightning Sorcerer. This is a comeback of the Season 2 meta. I have a build guide on here on YouTube already. It's out. It's crazy. And I was like so sure when I played it on the PTR that there's no way this is not getting nerfed because it's so OP, so fast, and so powerful. But surprisingly, they haven't nerfed it at all. Like this build, in fact, even got a buff to Mana Shield. So this build's completely immortal. You can stand in all the affixes. Your life is your mana pool, basically. So you have 1 life and you have like 20,000 mana in the end. Keep in mind, this is in the end game when you have like a Harlequin's Crest and everything. You will not be able to play this build from the very, very start. In fact, I recommend playing and leveling with a Fireball Hydra or a Firewall Hydra, because this build is going to be like a pretty like mana hungry, basically, and you want the mana shield for this to be really strong, and you want a lot of ranks because you get multiplicative scaling from this build. You can also play the Super Ball Lightning here. I can show you here on Lilith. This is T4 Lilith dying instantly to this build. Completely cracked, completely cooked. And I didn't record more footage because I was like, yeah, there's no way this build is going to make it into the live game on the PTR. Well, it did. And it got like a lot crazier. Sork almost died. No. This is like no one is dying. Like this has 1 life. So the life pool sometimes jumps down and up. But you have 30,000 mana. Like no one almost died here. The Sork's completely crazy. And I think for most people, this is going to be the number 1 build. However, my number 1, guys, just because it is so crazy powerful. It can do all the content in the game. It can even crush pit 100 in 2 minutes. This is the Evade Spiritborn. Also a strong comeback. They ultra juiced this. For whatever reason, they decided to buff the key passives and the Paragon nodes for the Evade Spiritborn. And you're also getting this Alacrity Chaos perk, which basically allows your Evade to reset its cooldown with Thunder Spike on every second hit instead of every third hit. So even without having a Harlequin's Crest here, you will be able to perma-evade. This is also the strongest leveling build. I'm highly suspecting that this build is going to reach the Torment 4 difficulty just 6, 7, or 8 hours after the season launch. And this build is a true crazy powerhouse. You can also get the Sepan Sontag on your gloves, on your boots as a chaos power, and that allows you to perma-evade without having any cooldown on your gear. This is like here, you can see this is like how the build is just crushing Torment 4 and Ariel, like instantly killing it. And this is before it got buffed, guys. This is T4 before it got buffed. Like it got like more than double damage after this. And it's crushing all the T4 bosses already. Because it gets so crazy. So this is my number 1 pick for the season. You can also speed farm with this. You can see here, this is like a pit 80, just speed farming. I also have footage of a pit 100 in 3 minutes, and that's gonna get like double damage. So we're gonna do pit 100 in like 2 minutes. And these runs here, you're focusing on doing them in 60 seconds, which is the best way to farm Paragon XP. And I believe I also have some Horde footage here. You can also see this build here in Infernal Hordes. I think we're going to go to like the last wave here. you see how much cinders it's also getting. This is also the best Infernal Hordes farmer. Because you can basically just stand in the middle and you can see here all my feathers that I, sorry for the bad quality here, but all the feathers that I have, they are basically like just auto-aiming and it's one-shotting all the bosses on T4 as it was on the PTR. And keep in mind, this build got a more than double damage buff. It got a buff to Vital Strikes, the key passive. It also got the Sunbird Gorget, which is the Evade Amulet as a Chaos Power. And it got another triple buff for the Paragon legendary nodes. And yeah, this build is cooking very good. And you can play this build right from level 1, basically. You unlock the Eagle Evade power at level 15, so just 1 to 15. You can still play Thunder Spike, you just want to play like Crushing Hands or Stinger or whatever core skill you want. And on 15, you just fully focus on this Eagle stuff, and when you get Alacrity or the Sepan Sontag, you're going to be crushing here. You're getting like 2,500 ethers here in the Horde runs, and that build is just completely cranked, guys. So I also have this like basically on the top rank here in the Hordes farming, and it's also like #1 here on the leveling part. And then this is the final tier list, guys. You can also see, I'm going to link this cheat sheet down below. So this is my overall tier list. Then if you scroll a bit down, you have this like top 10 recommended builds. And there's also all the gameplay footage that I was showing you here. There's all the links in the cheat sheet here. And yeah, there's a few honorable mentions like Hoda Barb, Boulder Druid is very fun, Tornado Druid is very fun. Touch of Death is also like a top build on the Spiritborn that's going to be extremely powerful. But overall, guys, if you, I don't know, have a friend, or if you would want to recommend like a good build to like a friend or another player coming back, I would say pick one of these. Every class is going to be strong. We have multiple S-tier builds overall. And I think every class and the power level this season is just insane. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. This is going to be a fantastic fun. I'm personally going to be live here starting today, being basically live for a week straight. We're going to be like 24/7 blasting. We're going to have a lot of fun together. So come by on twitch.tv/Raptor608 or come by on the YouTube account. And make sure to subscribe, guys, because I have a lot more videos coming. I hope you enjoyed the overview, and I will see you soon. Enjoy, my friends. GG. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.